Hey athletes, how are you? One of our most difficult ranges of motion is in our overhead squat. A lot of athletes come in and have challenges getting to full depth, controlling their range of motion, and doing that overhead squat safely and consistently over a period of time. So in the video today, we're going to go over a couple of the different ranges of motion issues and some flexibility issues that can be holding you back from performing that motion optimally. One of the leading reasons why we have deficits in our overhead squat is from thoracic spine immobility. The inability to be able to keep those shoulders and those ribs opened up. Not the ribs opened up here, but the spine tall and not rounding over in that load. So this is one of the most influential mobilities for increasing thoracic spine mobility. This one, you're going to need a foam roller or something similar. And a barbell. If you don't have access to a barbell, a kettlebell can work. Even a helpful friend, if you have a super friend that wants to anchor your hands down. What we're going to do is we're going to use this as a fulcrum point to arch my thoracic spine over as my hands are anchored to that barbell. So check this out. This is a really, really good one. Because it is such a good one, it's also one of those incredibly uncomfortable ones. So make sure that you're trying to breathe the deepest and easiest you can. We're going to govern our tension. We're going to increase our intensity in the stretch by bringing our hips down to the floor. So if you feel like you're getting a little deeper than you want to be, just bring your hips back up. It'll take some of the tension away from this mobility. This is a great one. We're going to rack ourselves up by putting this foam roller directly across the back of our shoulder blades. All right, so you have to kind of like eyeball where you are, maybe make some adjustments. You're not locked into place. We want it right across our shoulder blades, even with our armpits. We're going to bring the hips up. Look for that barbell. Whether you want to do it in a narrow hand position or a wide hand position is completely up to you. I suggest doing both. I particularly like the narrow one as it forces me into a little longer mobility. And now from here, I got a good grip on that bar. I'm going to start to lower my hips back down to the floor as I'm bending myself over the rack here. Remember to breathe. If you can't breathe in a position, you don't own that position. Drop the hips down all the way if you can. Hold yourself there. Let the tissues open up. If you want to play a little bit, you can bring yourself up and down, teasing into that end range. Tease into it. Everything in your body is going to scream, get me out of here. This is a torture rack. And it really is. We call this the rack for a reason. Bringing those hips down, coming back up, coming down, releasing the hands. Bring the shoulders in first, rolling yourself up and sit. For this one, I recommend doing multiple small sessions. A lot of tissue going on here, a lot of opening up between the shoulders and the ribs opening up, even the collarbone. So pulses of 20 seconds. Go into that position, hold it for 10, 20 seconds, come back out, get out of it for a little while until you feel all your pieces go back to where they belong. Set yourself back up, go into a second round, maybe a third round. Playing with that hand position again. Maybe try a little wider the second time. Bring that pelvis to the floor. Stay in this position again, 10 to 20 seconds. Allowing yourself to breathe. Dropping the hips down. If you want to get super fancy, you can start to do some single leg raises, bring the knees in. All this lower body motion, super important again too. Because anytime we're in that overhead squat position, the lower body's making adjustments. It's not like the lower body's completely isolated, completely static and not moving. It's constantly going to be making adjustments depending on where our weight is. So moving these little lower body, doing some flutter kicks, bringing your knees up and down is going to make sure all those connective tissues that are sending signals to your shoulders and where that weight needs to be redistributed to are going to be able to maintain that balance, communicating well with each other. So again, no more than 20 or so seconds in that position. Do 2, maybe 3 rounds. Play with your hand position, narrow, wide, really wide. You'll hit different angles of tissues. This is a great one to open up the front of the shoulders, the thoracic spine, the chest. It's absolutely fantastic. Like I said, if you don't have a barbell, check it out with a kettlebell or have a super friend. Hold your hands and bring them back down. Just make sure you're communicating with each other, because you can't bail out when your friend's holding on to you. So if you say, hey, a little bit less, a little bit more, let them know where you're feeling, how much more tension you want, and when you're about to come out. If you are that super friend, don't just let go and catapult them. Come out nice and slow. Let them breathe into it, yield into it. It's a very deep stretch. You're going to feel very awkward coming back out. Everything being so stretched out is going to not want to come back in the right way. Come in nice and slow, respect that body, and that will get you certainly way deeper, way more controlled, and a heavier rep for that overhead squat.